Hi everyone, this is Nitesh from Indiahikes. I'm back with the ultimate guide series for another trek. This time we are heading to the heart of Nepal to its largest protected area. It's the Annapurna Conservation Area. It's a world within itself with majestic and iconic peaks, deep valleys, rivers, hot spring, forest and centuries of Nepali culture. And in its vast landscapes lies these two crown treks, Annapurna Base Camp and the Khopra Ridge Trek. So in this particular video, I'm going to be covering these 11 different points for you to understand how you can do the Annapurna Base Camp or the Khopra Ridge Trek. But if you just want to know about this one particular topics over here, you can click on the chapter given in the slide bar. Please keep an eye for the pro tips that I'm going to give you at the end of each chapter. Let me differentiate these two treks. If you want classic Himalayan experience to stand at the heart of the Annapurna Sanctuary, surrounded by towering peaks, Annapurna Base Camp is unbeatable. But if you are someone who values solitude, offbeat trails, and sweeping balcony views of Mount Dhaulagiri and Annapurna range, then Khopra Ridge is for you. The difference is the crowd, culture, and the kind of Himalayan experience you are seeking. Whereas both these treks are moderate in difficulty, take about a week of trekking, and has a common start point for this particular treks. Khopra Ridge has an edge with a different endpoint for this particular trek. Here's my pro tip for you. If you have enough days, that is more than 13-14 days, and you have enough fitness, I'll highly recommend to combine both this trek. And why do I say that? Because both these treks are so distinct and grand in its own. And if you're there, it's highly recommend that you can combine both this trek. Let us understand the different start or the endpoints for these two treks. If you are going for the Annapurna Base Camp trek, your start will be from Gandruk, or you can either start from Jinu. If you're starting from Jinu, you're gonna save half or a day because the route that comes from Gandruk is eventually gonna meet at Jinu. And the end point for the same trek is going to be Jinu because it's the same route that you're going to be tracing back. For Khopra Ridge, Gandruk is the start point for this particular trek, but you also have another route that is from Ulleri, where you can take a diversion in your drive from Nayapul to reach Ulleri. And this is the same route that goes and reconnects at your third day before reaching Khopra Ridge. For Khopra, the end point could be a different one if you're not choosing to come by the same route, where you can actually end at the Tatopani, which is on the Mustang side. Navigation is something that's not going to be very tough for you because the trails are very well laid and you'll find trekkers frequently walking on this trail. But I have a pro tip for you. I'll recommend to carry the hard map that will be given at the permission counter, or you can buy at the stationery in Pokhara city as well. On the other side, I'll recommend to have a digital map on your mobile phone, which I do every single time. You can download the application called maps.me. The trail are beautifully marked. You can see the distance, you can see the tea houses, you can see all the diversion just like your Google Maps. The application is not available in India currently, but if you are from outside India or if you're traveling to Nepal, you can download that. Or you can also have the application called Guide GPS or mappy.com, which are globally available and does the same job for you. Let us get into how to reach the start point of the trek. Pokhara is your central arrival point, and if you're someone coming in your international flight, you're gonna reach Kathmandu. And from Kathmandu, you have these three options to reach Pokhara. The first, you can take your deluxe AC bus from Kantipath from 7 AM onwards, and that is around 1200 to 2500 Nepali rupee. The second is to take a public bus from Gongabu Bus Park, which again starts early in the morning, which costs you around 700 to 1100 Nepali rupee. The third is taking a flight from Kathmandu to Pokhara. This will save 6 hours of your drive time, but it will cost you roughly around 8,000 to 9,000 Nepali rupee on the peak seasons. You can take the airlines like Buddha or Yeti as. After taking a rest in Pokhara, you can start towards your start point of the trek, that is Gandruk or Jinu. For that, you can take a public bus from Baglung Bus Park. The bus starts at 7:30 am and 10:30 am in the morning. But if you want to take a local jeep, you can take from the Hari Chowk. If you are an Indian and a budget traveler, here's my pro tip for you. You can avoid reaching Kathmandu and reach Gorakhpur in Uttar Pradesh. From Gorakhpur, you'll find couple of public options reaching Sanoli. After reaching Sanoli, you just cross the border and reach Siddharth Nagar. From Siddharth Nagar, you'll find multiple options, either jeeps or buses that reach Pokhara in less than 6 hours. Let us now see what could be your itinerary for these treks, that is your Annapurna Base Camp or the Khopra Ridge Trek. Before I share, let me give a small disclaimer that this not just be your itinerary for the trek. You can easily stretch more distance or break the trek quite early depending on your availability of the tea houses or your fitness. To tell you that itinerary, what I'm gonna share is something which I had followed on the trek. Now let us go into the Annapurna Base Camp trek. It's a 8 days of itinerary where your day 1 is gonna go from Pokhara to Gandruk with a small hike of 2 to 3 kilometer. Your day 2 is gonna be from Gandruk to Shomrong, which is roughly around 10 kilometer. Day 3 trekking from Shomrong to Bamboo, another 10 kilometer. Day 4 from Bamboo to Deorali, which is 9 kilometer. Your day 5 is like your most important day where you trek from Deorali to the Annapurna Base Camp, crossing the Machapuchare Base Camp, which is roughly gonna be around 9 kilometers. So post that, your 6th day is gonna be a descent from the Annapurna Base Camp to Bamboo, which is roughly gonna be around 13 kilometers. Your day 7 is gonna be from Bamboo to Jinu Hot Spring. Please make sure you go to the hot spring and experience that. Your day 8 is your travel back from Jinu Hot Spring to the bridge and heading back to Pokhara. I want to mention and give a special shout out to a Nepali YouTuber called Padal. He makes some amazing vlogs on different Nepal treks and you can actually take information from his videos as well. Similarly for Khopra, it's going to be your 8 day of itinerary where your day 1 is going to be similar, that you're going to start from Pokhara, drive until Kimse and trek for a small distance to Gandruk, which is going to be around 3 to 4 kilometer. Your day 2 is going to be a trek from Gandruk to Tadapani, around 6.5 kilometers. Day 3 from Tadapani to Dubato, which is 6.2 kilometers. Your day 4 going from Dubato, summiting Muldei Top and going to Khopra Ridge. It's going to be a long day. We are going to cover around 13 kilometers. Your day 5 is going to be from Khopra Ridge going to Khayar Lake and coming back to Khopra Ridge. Remember, this is a long day where you're going to cover 16 kilometers and gain more than 3000 feet of altitude, going till 15,000 feet plus. Your day 6, you trek down from Khopra Ridge to Paudwar. Remember, this is a village on the Mustang side. You're ending the trek on the other side where you're going to descend around 8.5 kilometers. Your day 7 is a trek down from Paudwar to Tatopani. Tatopani is your end of your trek. You reach the roadhead. You can stay there and take your travel towards Pokhara on your 8th day, or you can travel back on your same 7th day as well. Now, let me cover the most important part of this video, that is permission and insurance. Taking a permission is a mandatory thing for both this trek, and for both this trek, the process is the similar. You can take your permission from the ACAP office, that is Annapurna Conservation Area Permit, from Pokhara itself. The permit fee is rupees 1000 NPR for the SAARC countries. That includes India as well. If you're not from the SAARC country, then it's going to be 3000 NPR. And if in case you're unable to take your permit from the Pokhara city, you have the other 2 counters as well where you can take your permit. First is at Birethanti. Birethanti is right on your drive towards the start point of the trek. It's right after Nayapul. The second counter would be at Shomrong. Shomrong is at your first or the second day of your trek towards the Annapurna Base Camp. Now this is an advantage to take your permit on the way, but the disadvantage over here is that you need to pay 2000 Nepali rupee additional to what the permit fee is. When it comes to insurance, it's not mandatory to have to do this particular treks, but I do recommend having a one because that will give you an additional cushion towards any uncertainty. And you can take your insurance through AAC 360 or World Nomads through their website, where the premium would be around 10 to 15,000 NPR, depending on your number of days. And this will also include your heli evacuation. So here are my two pro tips for you. First, with regards to your permission, please make sure you click a picture of your permit in your mobile, because this will give you a safety of having your permit in your mobile if in case your physical permit are lost. The second one is with your insurance. Please make sure you are covering your travel days as well, because in case of any delay or cancellation, it gets covered in your insurance. The most important thing to do a trek is food and accommodation. And to tell you, for both Annapurna Base Camp and Khopra Ridge Trek, both the things are taken care by the tea houses. There are a number of tea houses that you will pass through on this trek, not just at the desired location you're gonna reach, but even if you would want to break the journey quite early, you will find a tea house over there. And this tea house will offer you accommodation, pretty good accommodation that would cost you like 200 to 500 Nepali rupee or even plus, but it would give you a cot, a quint, and also charging a Wi-Fi, maybe a charge for that, around 100 to 200 Nepali rupee, a washroom or a bathing facility as well. When it comes to the food is also very well taken care by this tea house, and there are varieties of food offered here. But here I would give a pro tip to, be on a dal bhat diet that will give you enough nutrition and energy. The dal bhat would cost you around 350 to 700 Nepali rupee as you are gaining height and altitude. Let us now understand whether you need a guide or not. As of now, to do Annapurna Base Camp or Khopra Ridge Trek, you can do on your own, that is without a guide. But in case you need a guide to do these treks, you can approach the ACAP office to have certain recommendations from them, or you can also take my recommendation with my known contacts given in the description below. To give you a number, how much would a guide or a porter would cost you on this trek? A guide would roughly cost you around 3,500 Nepali rupee plus or minus depending on the season, and a porter would cost you around 2,500 plus or minus Nepali rupee. That would include their food and accommodation as well. With this, I'll give a pro tip. If in case you're going in the peak season, that is in the mid of April or in the month of October, I'll highly recommend you to take a guide, because there is very likely chance that you will find accommodation very easily. But if in case you have a guide or a porter, they will make sure that with their known contacts or in advance they will book the accommodation for you. Let us see how difficult is the Annapurna Base Camp trek or the Khopra Ridge Trek, and what the preparation required for this. Both these treks are a moderate category trek where you are going to be covering 8 to 10 kilometers a day while ascending, and your average height gain is going to be around 2,000 or 2,500 feet in a day plus or minus. And while descending, you may be dropping a lot of altitude plus covering more distance as well. The trails are very well laid, they are marked, and there are very hardly any tricky section on the trail that will cause you any difficulty. Yes, there is a good preparation required for this trek, and especially if you are doing Khayar Lake, that is an extension from Khopra Ridge Trek, that will make you cover more than 16 kilometers and gain more than 3,000 feet and drop 3,000 feet altitude in that one particular day. So before heading to this trek, I'll strongly recommend to have a good 2-3 months of a fitness regime. And when I say a fitness regime, please make sure of these 2 points. First is cardio. Build a very good cardio with the help of running, cycling or swimming, and this need not be continuous every day, but it can be done in alternate days where you're able to run 5 kilometers in 35 minutes at least. And it's not just about timing for once, but make sure you're building your endurance for a longer run as well. The second is your strengthening. You need to have a very strong legs to do this trek and cover a distance. Make sure you do good squats, planks, along with your cardio exercises. And with these 2 points, I have a pro tip for you. Please make sure you do good stretches before and after your fitness regime. This will avoid any uncertainty with injuries on the trek or with your fitness routine as well. What is the best time to do this trek? If you ask me, there are these 2 beautiful windows to do this trek. One is in the pre-monsoon and one is in the post-monsoon. The pre-monsoon are your spring months, that is March, April and May. And the second is your autumn months, that is your mid-September until the end of October. To tell you, monsoon is quite heavy in Nepal, that starts in June and goes until like mid of September. And post-November, winter approaches and it gets colder, and even it receives quite a lot of snowfall in those winter months. Here are my pro tips for the budget traveler or people who would want to avoid crowd. The 2 months which I'll recommend is March and November. Both these months are on the shoulder of the main season or the peak season. It will give you an opportunity to have lesser crowd on the trail, also give you more options of finding availability of tea houses and also affordability of those places as well. Now we will go to on our packing list. Here you don't need to carry all your camping gears or food ration, because at both Annapurna Base Camp and at the Khopra Ridge there are all tea houses, so that eliminates quite a lot of weight from your backpack. When it comes to your essential things you need to carry, please make sure you follow the list that is given on your screen. Here are my 3 pro tips for this. The very first, please make sure you convert enough Nepali currency with you, because on the whole trek, it would be only the Nepali currency that will be accepted. The second one, if you want to eliminate your thermals, you can wear your 2 trek pants or 2 t-shirts on the colder days. The very third one is, please make sure you carry your dry sacks where you put all your essential inside those poly sack that fits inside your backpack, and it will keep everything dry in a rainy weather as well. Now let us come to a final chapter in knowing what will be your overall budget. If we are considering either one of this trek and the duration of the trek is around 8 days, your food is roughly gonna be around 24,000 Nepali rupee, where I've considered 3,000 Nepali rupee a day. When it comes to your accommodation, it's around 4,000 Nepali rupee, considering an average cost of 500 Nepali rupee a day. And when it comes to your travel, that is your travel from Kathmandu to Kathmandu, which includes your flight at the max and your road journey, it will roughly be around 15,000 Nepali rupee to 20,000 Nepali rupee. And coming to the final part about your insurance. If you're taking an insurance, that's roughly going to cost you around 15,000 Nepali rupee, and the permit, which is 1,000 for the SAARC countries and 3,000 for non-SAARC countries. So overall, you're roughly going to spend around 50,000 to 60,000 Nepali rupee if you are doing this trek on your own. So now, with the whole information, whether you choose Annapurna Base Camp or Khopra Ridge or combine both the trek, you are gonna get an experience of your life. With this is me, Nitesh, signing off, and see you on yet another Ultimate Guide video. Thank you.